If you hear a little kid in the background, it's my niece.
It's all good.
It's Avery.
All right, we're live, guys. Welcome back to our third show today on Real Sports Live Sideline Sit Down. We have a couple special guests, all cut from the same cloth. It's an all Edinburgh North show. Saul Garza currently at LSU, Carlo Servin and Alex Canul both at Texas A&M Kingsville. So, guys, welcome to the show.
What's going on?
What's
Hey,
up?
Kevin. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely, yeah. We're gonna just start with the elephant in the room, and that mustache, Canul. What's the story behind the mustache? The inspiration?
Well, all 4 years there at Temuk, every March that came around, everybody's like, "You got to grow out your mustache. You got to grow out your mustache." Well, in 2018, I did it for Mustache March, and we ended up making the World Series that year. And then, I decided to do it again this year, but our season ended up getting cut short. So I was like, I'm going to have to leave this mustache on until next season gets started up again.
Definitely.
Looks good, man. Maybe in like 20 years, I'll be able to grow one out like that or something.
I'll give you a few tips.
What have you guys been up to as far as being home and any binge watching, any hobbies you guys maybe picked up on?
Tiger King.
Tiger King.
Yeah, I've definitely seen Tiger King. Yeah, I've had some time to pick up gaming. I hadn't really gamed a whole lot, but now that I've had some extra time, I guess really just Netflix and gaming. So.
Where are you gaming at? What games you got going over there?
Yeah.
Fortnite. I'm still a rookie, but
Just Fortnite.
Just Fortnite. You can ask Carlo. I'm not the best.
We're practicing. We're getting there.
I've been playing MLB The Show.
Okay, that's better.
MLB The Show and Fortnite, probably my two top games right now.
All right. No COD?
No, I haven't downloaded COD yet.
Okay, we'll get on that. Somebody get him a game of COD going.
We're getting there, man. We're getting there. We're baby steps.
Hey,
baby steps.
Man.
I actually lost to Sessler the other day at the show.
Ooh.
Oh.
Yeah.
That guy.
3-1.
Big bird.
Yeah. And Saul, it was funny when I was playing him the other day online. We were talking about you guys and how we knew y'all. He's like, man, the memories I have of Saul Garza, he's like, he took me yard. He's like, he hit it over the fence, across the parking lot. He's like, I don't have too many good memories of facing Saul. He's like, I'd rather talk about it.
Oh, man. I'll have to join y'all's game one day.
Definitely, yeah. Yeah, no, I've been getting playing some Madden too online, but I lost to him, and I lost to I don't know Cross Gonzalez. He's playing up at Our Lady of the Lake. He was from Rio Hondo, so I'm on a bit of a losing streak. But what about you, Carlo? Any gaming? Any binge watching?
Yeah, me and Saul will hop on some Fortnite quite a bit. I saw the new season of All American.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty good. I've already seen the full all parts of the ranch, but I go back to some of the funniest episodes. That's been pretty good. But as far as that, just trying to stay in shape and just watching Netflix and gaming a little bit.
I did get to watch The Ranch. That one was pretty good.
Oh, yeah, you haven't watched that one yet?
It's funny, man.
I haven't seen it yet. Carlo's been trying to convince me, so I guess I got to get on it.
It's pretty good.
It's good.
And the whole everything's on there, so you can start to finish.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Have y'all watched Ozark?
No,
but I heard it was good.
I think I've seen how many seasons does those? 3? Okay, I've seen the first 2. I haven't seen the last one. So.
Yeah, season 3 came out probably about a week into like quarantine and stuff. So
Gotcha.
I think I watched it in maybe about a week, which is rare. And which brings me to my next question is when it comes to binge watching, and throughout this quarantine, I've figured out that there's 2 kinds of binge watchers. ones that will steamroll through shows and watch 6, 7, 8 shows in a row, and then some that will watch a show or two and call it a day and then pick up the next day. Which kind of binge watchers are you guys?
I'm like the chill type. I don't really try to invest too much of my day into Netflix. And I mean, there are some nights where I'll get on a roll and go 4 or 5 episodes at a time. But yeah, I guess I'm kind of like just take it easy, try to limit myself. I know, I mean, sleep is pretty important, but you can lose track of time pretty fast if you're on Netflix and TikTok and stuff. So just trying to limit that.
Carlo or Alex?
Yeah, I'm like, if I really like the show, like if it's like really really good, like I'll get on those 5, 6 episode streaks. But like if it's something that, you know, I'm watching with my mom or something that I'm not really interested in, I'll like.
Oh, that's messed up, man. Come on now. Watching with your mom.
It
Not
just
that
depends.
interested.
It just depends. It all depends. But yeah, like if I'm really interested in, like I'll do those streaks. But it all depends.
Canul?
It really depends on how long the episodes are. I
Yeah.
mean, like with
That
the
too.
ranch, the episodes are like 20 minutes, 25 minutes, I think. So I can watch a whole season in a day probably, but if the episodes are 50 minutes, an hour long, I just feel like I'm not getting anything done during the day, and I just end up stop watching and get up and go start and do something.
Definitely. So we're gonna shift some gears here and talk a little bit about some baseball. You know, obviously, you know, we had mentioned, you know, you guys were already in y'all's season when everything, you know, for college sports, you know, there was no postponing or maybes. It was just an indefinite no that the season was not going to happen. I felt that the first major domino effect when it came to sports was the NBA putting their season on pause shortly after we saw the NCAA take their measures. You know, just where were you guys at when you guys heard the news that the season was going to be canceled? And Canul, we'll start with you.
I was back in Kingsville. I think it was the day before we were going on a road trip. We were going to Odessa.
Mm-hmm.
I was just getting packed up, getting all my stuff ready, and then I saw the news on Twitter, and it's like, what? And I immediately put it on the TV, put it on Sports Center, and everything was true. And then, I mean, it was the NBA that did it first, and so I was like, I mean, that's the NBA. I can see why they do it. I don't see why they do it to Kingsville, to our conference. So I was like, I guess I still get packed and keep going. But I mean, just where I was at whenever it happened, I was there in Kingsville getting ready to go on a road trip, and it just kind of shocked me, really.
Carlo, I mean, you guys are on the same team. Were y'all together or?
Well, yeah, I mean, it was pretty much the same. Like I was packing up the night before to leave to Odessa, and you know, my dad had called me on FaceTime, you know, the night of, and he was like, "Hey, did you hear what happened?" And I was like, "No, like I haven't gotten a chance to turn on my TV. Like I'm still packing." And he was like, "Yeah, they just canceled the NBA." And I was like, "What? It's crazy." And then he told me, he was like, "I wouldn't be surprised if you guys, you know, don't leave tomorrow." And I was like, "Wow." And like in my head, I was just like, "There's no way," you know. And then we ended up taking off the next day, and we ended up stopping somewhere, and I think it was I forgot where it was, but we stopped at a Cracker Barrel, and I ended up seeing a tweet from SEC baseball that they had just told LSU baseball to get off the bus, and I was like, wow, like, you know, if they're telling them that, then they're very close to telling us something. So that's where it all started for me.
So I mean, so you were on a bus when you guys got there, or how did that unfold?
So for us, it was kind of like a two-step process. I think the day that the NBA postponed their season, I think we got word from the SEC that they weren't going to allow any fans at the game. So we were told that we were still going to be able to play, but it would just be just the players, no fans. And that was kind of a bummer because we were about to head to Ole Miss, Oxford, Mississippi, big time SEC opener. Drew Bianco, my teammate, his dad's the head coach at Ole Miss. So it was big time series coming up. And then we got word that we weren't going to be able to play in front of fans. And then the next day we showed up to the ballpark, ready to leave. And the coaches kind of just held us back. And they said, like, look, like, don't get on the bus yet. We don't know. We're having a meeting pretty soon to find out what's going to end up happening. And then sure enough, they ended up canceling the season. So yeah, it's pretty devastating.
Did you guys come home automatically, or did you guys spend a little time getting stuff together on campus, or how did you guys get back home? Carlo?
Well, got back, you know, it was the good old drive to Odessa and come back in the same day.
I think
So
we were like an hour from there, weren't we?
Yeah,
Something
we
like
were
that.
we were about an hour away from Odessa, and we literally took a U-turn, came all the way back to Kingsville. So we got in back to Kingsville. I'm not sure what, like at 10, 11. And,
I'd say like 11:30.
Yeah, so we got back pretty late. I think I stayed there Saturday, Sunday, and then, you know, our coach told us that, you know, he's like, hey, we're not going to be able to do anything. We're not going to be able to go on the field. We can't practice or anything.
Yeah.
So at that point in time, I took advantage to come back home and, you know, see my parents and see my mom and everybody. So right when they told us that we couldn't do anything, I just came right home.
So how about did you come home? I know you're a little bit farther away. So
yeah. So for me, yeah, I got word, I think on a Thursday, that the season was canceled, and, you know, it kind of just didn't seem real at first. So it was kind of just like everyone was in shock, all the players and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I stuck around Baton Rouge probably for about a week, just to try and hang out with my teammates as much as possible, just because, I mean, some of these guys, you never know what can happen from one year to the next. And I mean, we might not be teammates anymore and stuff like that. Some guys move on to professional baseball. So, I mean, it's really just trying to be with the guys, trying to hang out with each other for as much time as we could before it got too serious. And then, and then finally my parents were calling me, telling me to get home. So I was like, yeah, I miss them. So came home and then got back to work.
As far as, you know, keeping in shape and, you know, being college students, I'm sure you guys have already taken online classes, because with some of these high school athletes that I've talked to, they've never done online learning. So they've had a bit of a learning curve. But for college players, college athletes, college students, they've done that already before. So, I mean, has it been difficult for you guys to manage keeping in shape, in baseball shape, and also doing your schoolwork?
Not
For me, no.
Yeah, go ahead.
I mean,
Go ahead,
I was only enrolled in 6 hours this semester because that's all I needed to graduate. So I mean, 6 hours isn't that much classwork, but I mean, at the same time, because of us being this close to graduating, there was something that we would have to do every single week. So I mean, just pretty much every week we're given a new assignment, just a page paper about how we would do things in the classroom. Because I was, like I said earlier, I was doing my student teaching, and I mean, there's not really any way you can do student teaching online. You have to be in person at a school. And I was at one of the middle schools there in Kingsville, and I was having a really good time. And then all this happened, and then, I mean, we were our field supervisor was kind of in shock too. She was basically texting myself and the other student teachers every other day saying, I'll have an update for y'all coming soon. I'll have an update for y'all coming soon. And then, you know, finally she said, all right, well, schools are closed. Just stay posted online and just look for any assignments that I'll post. And she's been giving us assignments every week, and that's pretty much it for me.
Saul?
So for me, it's a little bit tougher of transition, just because one, physically, you go from using the equipment that you've been used to using, and then to coming home, and then you might not have the same facilities, you don't have your teammates, your workout buddies to try and throw long toss with and stuff like that. So it's really just trying to find, like, do what you can with what you got. And then when it comes to academically, I just took a 2-hour organic chemistry test a little while ago. That wasn't fun to do online. I mean, trying to learn organic chemistry online is kind of tough, stuff like that. But I mean, I definitely feel like I have a little bit more time on my hands, just because I'm not practicing, obviously, as a full schedule as I would be if I was over there. But just trying to stay on top of things before they try and accumulate.
Carlo, how has it been for you adjusting to this new setting?
Well, as far as academic wise, I already had a few classes I was taking online, so it wasn't too big of a deal. You know, some of the professors did change up the schedule due to all the changes that was going on in the system and everything. So, you know, they kind of just pushed back assignments. So it hasn't been too bad as far as academic wise. I got a few exams coming up, you know, but as far as, you know, working out and staying in shape, obviously we're not, you know, back at school where we have our routine and you know, we get to get on the field every day and get into a weight room where, you know, we have weights and stuff. So it's been tough not having that, but I mean, I've been trying to stay in shape as much as I can, run, do body weight stuff.
Run.
But, yeah, I know it's hard, but
yeah, it is.
Hey, he can still beat you in a race, I bet.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But it's been fun though.
I've been working out with my brother here. I mean, I'm not like I know Saul, he out there on the ranch, he used to tell us about throwing hay bales and stuff like that. So, you know, we don't
out here I complain about not having a weight room, and my dad, he's like, yeah, well, I got some hay bales there. You can go feed the cows. You can, if you want to cut down those trees, there's an axe. Go ahead. And
dude, that's some real work right there. I heard that
no shortage of physical activity.
That's how Madison Bumgarner stays in shape.
Yeah.
That's what I heard.
I believe it.
Yeah, well, when you were playing at Minute Maid so early this year, when you hit that home run to left center, how you went down there and just got it, and a lot of people are like, man, like, that's the weight room, and I'm like, that's not the weight room. I was like, that's San Manuel Strong right there. That's ranch and strong.
Some people were telling me that's ranch strength. That's, I mean, and I agree. I mean, to some point, I mean, being strong in the weight room definitely correlates to the baseball field most of the time. But I mean, just because you bench 350 pounds doesn't mean you're going to hit the ball 400 feet. You know, it's kind of like a mobility. There's a lot of stuff to do with it. And I mean, I just feel like moving around, doing stuff here on the ranch kind of helps with that.
Let's talk about you guys' recruiting process for a little bit, and you know, what was that like for you guys? You know, not too far out of being in high school, and just, you know, what was it like, you know, being recruited and then finally making you all's decision to go to your respective schools?
For me, I was a senior and senior there at Edinburgh North, and I got an email to go to a workout in Laredo. It was going to be at the Unitrade Stadium. And it was from some scout from the Red Sox that emailed it to me. I forgot his name, but I think it was in Laredo. Ended up being really cold because it was in January. It was like 30 degrees, misting, just not baseball weather at all. And they ended up moving it inside to the Freddie Benavides Baseball Academy, which is like this big indoor warehouse. And they had half of it cut off where the hitters were doing fielding, tee work, all kinds of stuff over here. Then the other half, they had 2 portable mounds set up, and they were throwing bullpens with the pitchers. And at that workout, there was, I'd say about 10 to 15 college scouts, 10 to 15 pro scouts. And there at that workout, Coach Middleton from Kingsville was there, and he saw me. And then after that workout, about a week later, I got a call from him, and he said, "Hey, this is Coach Middleton. Go ahead and send me your schedule that we can get down there and see you." And he ended up seeing me at the Border Olympics in Laredo. He liked what he saw, wanted me to come on a visit. I think it was spring break that year too. Spring break, I went on a visit up there, offered me a scholarship, just showed me around. I had a really good time. And I mean, it's only an hour and a half from home, and the conference up there, they have good baseball in that conference, especially once it comes around to postseason play and regional play. It's really good baseball. And I mean, I got the offer and I took it, and I mean, I just couldn't beat the offer that they were giving me.
Carlo, were you sort of in the same boat as far as, Alex graduated in 2015, you guys followed it 2 years later. For A&M Kingsville to have an idea, a radar on you, was that what it was like, or what was it like for you?
Not really, honestly, because when Alex graduated, I was playing a lot of summer ball, and obviously my goal, or my dream was to play D1 baseball. So I was pretty in deep on the summer baseball with the organization in Houston with the Banditos, and I ended up getting an offer to Sam Houston State, and I was debating whether to take it or not. It was just for pitching though, and I was honestly going to take it. And the day of, the Coach Harville called me, and they ended up having some disagreements as a program, and they had some kids leave, so they had to take away my scholarship. So I was pretty bummed out about that. And then my dad ended up telling me, he's like, you know what, let's just go to the schools that you're interested in, and we'll start going to the workouts. And I ended up seeing one here local, and they were going to have a tryout here for Kingsville here at Coastal Bend. So I ended up going. I was like, you know what, I'm going to try it out. So I went, and I think there was about 80 kids, and I did everything. I did catching, I did infield, I did, I even did outfield, everything. And then I was throwing on the mound, and all the pitchers went. I ended up being one of the last pitchers, and after I threw my bullpen, I hadn't seen the coach talk to anybody else. And after I finished, he came up to me and he asked to speak to my dad, and so I knew something good was going to come out of it, because I was the only one he spoke to. So he had liked what he seen, and he asked me, he's like, what do you like to play more? And I was like, you know what, I just want an opportunity to play at the next level. And I ended up visiting the school, and it was like home to me, so I took it.
Definitely. Saul?
Yeah, so for me it was a little bit different. So I was kind of like, I guess I was kind of like a late bloomer. Like I don't feel like I really grew into my body probably until my senior year of high school, which is pretty late. I mean, most of the time when it comes to recruiting guys, most of these schools, they'll try and recruit their guys their junior, early in the senior year. So for me, I was kind of a late bloomer, and I went to a junior college. They saw me, and Coach Rob Martinez, he's now the recruiting coordinator here at UTRGV. He was my head coach at Howard College. And he saw me in Jupiter, Florida. He believed in me, and then I ended up going to Howard Junior College, which is in Big Spring, Texas. And a bunch of people were like, why are you going JUCO? Why are you going JUCO? And for me, it was really just, I wanted to go somewhere where I felt like the coach really believed in me and my abilities, and was really there to push me to the best of my abilities. So it was tough. I know both of these guys were trying to convince me to come to Kingsville. It would have been awesome being able to go there, but like I said, I went to junior college for 1 year, and then that's when LSU they saw me. So then I had a few other visits, official visits set up, but once I made it to Baton Rouge, I saw the campus, met with the coaches, saw the facilities. I went to a basketball game, and I knew that, I got to see a live tiger. Not very many people get to see that at their school. So, I think honestly Mike might have been the convincing factor, but yeah, I ended up falling in love with LSU, so I ended up going to Louisiana.
Definitely. What are you guys' thoughts on Major League Baseball and where it's at right now? And just some of the solutions they've come up with, and I think the most probable solution would be for baseball to, one, shorten the season, and also go to a spring training style where it would be the Grapefruit League and the Cactus League, and the teams would be playing in Florida and Arizona, and just how strange that would be. And have you guys seen that at all, or what are you guys' thoughts on that, just from a baseball standpoint?
From what I've seen, it's not like the other sports where they were almost close to the end of their season.
Mm-hmm.
But like for the MLB, I think the biggest thing would everybody playing the same amount of games, because if some team plays a certain amount of games, but then this other team didn't play as much, then there's that argument that comes into play. And I mean, just giving everybody the equal chance, obviously, especially because those are professional athletes. They get paid to do what they do. And I mean, like the grapefruit and the cactus, because it's in Florida and Arizona, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if maybe it'd just be a weird year with an asterisk next to it, I guess. Mm-hmm. But just realign the divisions, and I mean, just everybody play at their spring training facilities, and I mean, everybody will get, at least I just want to see some baseball on TV, because I've been kind of starting to run out of Netflix shows, but I just think that, like what they were talking about, realigning the divisions and then playing in their spring training facilities is good. I mean, especially with fans or without fans, I would just like to see some baseball. But I mean, it's not what I want. It's not what I want to see. It's what the MLB decides to do. So,
yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting because obviously I feel like nothing like this has ever happened before. So we're kind of like in uncharted waters where nobody really knows what's going to happen, like what their guidelines are going to be, when they're going to start opening up. I mean, there's like Canul said, like there's a difference between playing in front of no fans and then playing with fans, and then the whole process. So really just yeah, it's gonna be interesting. You really never know. There's speculation on I mean, I think I saw a tweet where someone said they might play in Japan or something, and like I feel like right now people, like the only people who really know what could happen is I mean the MLB, and I mean obviously they're taking their time in order to, I mean, for the safety of the players and their fans. So yeah, I mean, I'm just ready for some baseball to start up again, and if it means watching it on TV, so be it. But yeah.
Carlo?
No, I agree with what they're both saying, but no matter what happens, I think it's going to be a big transition for everybody, especially the players, because I think they brought up them playing doubleheaders a lot more.
Seven-inning doubleheaders.
Yeah. So, and I don't think that's just going to be like every other day thing. I think it's going to be like an everyday thing. Mm-hmm. So, it's going to be tough,
every
man.
Saturday.
I mean, every Saturday for us, but it's
every Saturday
like,
for us.
It's going to be like an everyday thing for them, and that's tough. You think about the toll the season takes on some of these professional athletes, and even with the proper care they get on a daily, it's tough. It takes a toll on the body. So like I said, like these both guys said, I'm just ready to see some baseball, but it's going to be a tough transition for all these players.
I agree. Our last topic we're gonna talk about is we all went to Edinburgh North, and we all played baseball there at one point in our lives. Just talk about maybe some things that you guys look back on, and some memories you guys maybe have on playing at Edinburgh North.
The graveyard.
For me,
Canul's happy about it.
what?
You're
Tell him,
happy
man,
about
tell
it.
him.
As a pitcher, the ball doesn't fly, so.
Oh yeah, it's probably one of the biggest parks here in the valley. But I mean, playing at North, the biggest thing was just that year in I think it was the spring of 2014. Whenever we were the first, we were doing like everything we did that year was the first. So it was like the first district champs, the first time we went to the second round, the first time we won in the second round, the first time we made it to the third round. It was all these kind of first things, and then there in Kingsville, our coach always says, our coach always preaches to us and says he always brings it up at just the right time, and he says it pays to be a winner. And I mean that year there at Edinburgh North, we were winning, and I mean just walking around the school, everybody was like, "Hey, good job, this." And then I think they even had like a little pep rally for us whenever we were going to the third round, and they sent us off and everything. But no, that year, and then I mean, obviously senior year, we went to Zapata in the second round, and we played Laredo Alexander. And that year they had, I think it was like 6 Division I signees or something like that, 6 or 7 Division I signees, #1 team in the state and all this stuff. And I mean, we ended up losing 2 out of 3 to them, but just the competition, and like being able to play against somebody of that caliber of a team, and just seeing how you react to it as a person, and what it brings out of you, it's just a feeling that you don't get every day. And that's another thing that brings me to another thing about sports being like not played right now. It's like there's some feelings you get in sports that like you don't just get in everyday life. So but no, just being there at North, it gave me some experiences along with these guys, along with Saul and Carlo, and then Saul's brother Sam, my old buddy Sam Chavez, Michael Cantu. Trying to think of who I don't know, a bunch of guys from high school that it's just like every time I see them, that's all we talk about and all this stuff. But I mean, there were some good times there.
Yeah, so for me and Carlo, I feel like we were both pretty fortunate to come in the year we did. I feel like we were able to look up to guys like Canul. I mean, they're the few guys when we were freshmen that were unbelievable, and just to see the way they worked at it, and to see how much the game meant to them, kind of like pushed us as freshmen to try and hold our own and work just as hard as them. So definitely that was a great foundation. And then just, I mean, getting to play with my brother, that was a great feeling, I mean, we grew up together playing baseball. So Edinburgh North, for that to be the last time we played competitively together, that's obviously something that I'm going to cherish forever. And then, I mean, just the rest of the guys that you meet too, it's really just like some of my best friends, I played high school baseball with. So, I mean, I definitely feel for the seniors right now, the guys who are losing out on that opportunity to make memories. So, I mean, it's just really just trying to stay positive, and I guess just realize that this is a bigger problem than what it seems.
Carlo?
Yeah, I couldn't have said it better myself. It was a lot of fun playing with these 2 guys. I myself got to play with my brother, his senior year, my freshman year, and I'll cherish that forever. But the relationships that were built, throughout those 4 years, with these 2 guys, with Sam, with all the other guys that were there, that walked across, Edinburgh North. and to be able to put on the blue and gold every day was pretty special. You know, and you know, also all the wins, all the great wins, all the, you know, the district titles that we, you know, the district title that we won was amazing. So I'll remember those memories forever.
Definitely a huge shout out to coaching staff, Coach Gonzalez, Coach
Coach
Antadua,
Gonzalez.
Yeah.
Coach Deaton, Coach Hinojosa.
We can't, Coach Hinojosa can't
No.
forget about Coach
I
Deaton.
feel like they molded the program, and they molded us into kind of like the players that to make the program successful. So I definitely couldn't have done it without them.
I know. I graduated in 2010. You know, so I was, you know, kind of that last part with, you know, with Josh Silva and Chris DeLuna and those guys, and you know, guys like Nick Escobar came after me. And you know, when I was done playing and graduating, I just remember hearing, you know, about the Sam Chavez's and the Alex Canuls, because your brother Aaron was with us for a little bit, back high. But we heard about you when you were just a little kid, you know, so we knew that there was something coming, because we fell off for a little bit. You know, we weren't very good my senior year. We didn't make the playoffs. I don't think the team after with Matt Modine and those guys, I don't think they made it either. But quickly, you guys turned that program around. You know, so I know that's just a testament to you guys. And I know we went through a coaching change with Coach Gonzalez, and how he really, you know, brought that program back to life. One thing I was jealous of was the swag that you guys got. I mean, you guys got taken care of so well. And for me, I don't know if you guys,
I did it. It all came to those guys right there.
Oh man, that's
it all
something
came
that
after 2015.
Coach Gonzalez prides himself on. He was always telling us that. I mean, I feel like every year we got a new uniform and stuff, which is kind of a big deal for a high school program. So
Oh yeah,
definitely he did his job to try and keep us looking good.
Yeah, we see my senior year, we didn't get new uniforms. The new uniforms we did get, we didn't get them until the last game of the year. So that stunk, but I mean, we got to wear them. But yeah, and I remember we had the logo was the NC, and do you guys remember seeing that?
Yeah.
Me personally, I hated it because it just made no sense. North Cougars, like I didn't like it, and I was like, bring back the EN, you know. And then finally, when I left, then you guys got the EN hats. I'm like, oh well, at least they're being able to have it. So, but I know another thing too is that I don't know for you guys, they had just built churches, and they had just built that juniors, you know, maybe a couple years before. So I always remember in the outfield that churches, you would smell it when you'd be in the outfield. And it'd be like a 5:30 on a Wednesday. It's like, man, churches smell so good. So we'd run over and go to churches. Did you guys ever make snack runs to juniors to go get anything like that on game day?
Oh, for sure.
Every game day.
For sure.
And I mean, now I think there's a wing stop right by.
Yeah.
So,
I drove by there the other day, saw all that stuff. I'm like, man, these kids are getting spoiled.
Seriously.
Yeah, but I know. We would always get snacks.
Coach would give us a chance too, because he wanted to do a little snack run also.
Oh yeah. Oh man,
he had to go get his Diet Coke.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I definitely remember. I'm glad that kind of continued, because we would definitely go out and they used to sell these little NASCAR energy drinks. Jeff Gordon, I don't know if you guys ever saw them, and they were like 75 cents. So we would all just pitch in a couple bucks, and one guy would just go and grab them all, and then just bring them back. And I'm sure you guys took ag with Mr. D.
Yeah, we did.
So did you guys ever take y'all's field trip to juniors to study the process, meat processing? Did you guys ever do that?
So
I didn't.
I didn't actually go to a supermarket, but I remember that day that we learned about it in class, and he told us all about it. I mean, growing up on a ranch, I kind of knew like how the cattle industry works, but it was definitely Mr. Delavina and Mr. Garza. They were pretty cool.
Yeah, that was definitely a lot of fun. So Guys, before we wrap up, anything else you guys like to add, or any shout outs you guys like to give to maybe friends or family?
I mean, like Saul said earlier, shout out to Coach Gonzalez, Coach Ansaldua, Coach Deaton, Coach Hinojosa, those guys that were there. They helped me all throughout the 4 years that I was there at Edinburgh North, and they took care of us really well there. Shout out to my guys back in Kingsville, the Boneyard, Cole, Bonus, Garrett, Big Cole, Bear. I mean, I could go on because they're in Kingsville, the way that our coach up there, Coach Gonzalez up there, runs the program, we all become really close. So, I mean, I could sit here and list off the whole team there, but I mean, just shout out to all the guys there in Kingsville. I hope y'all are doing well, and I mean, can't wait to get back for another year.
Yeah, I just want to say, first off to you, Kevin, thanks for having us. It was a blast.
Definitely.
And to everyone else watching, just, I mean, just kind of do your part in trying to keep your distances and stay safe during this time where, you know, a lot of people are trying to say, yeah, it's just a little sickness. It's like a flu, but no, it's something that I really feel like we need to take seriously. And I mean, the sooner that everyone kind of cooperates and does that, the better off we're going to end up being in the long run. So, and then to any kids watching, just hope you guys stay grinding and don't forget about ultimately what you want to do, whether that be become an athlete or do well academically, but just know that, like, even right now when we're all stuck at home, I mean, there's still plenty of stuff that you can do around the house to better yourself for the future.
Carlo?
Yeah, big shout out to all the coaches, coaching staff from Edinburgh North, Coach Gonzalez, Coach Deaton, Coach Ansaldua. You know, big kudos to them for coaching us all through high school. And big shout out to all my buddies up in Kingsville, all the coaching staff, all the families over there that, you know, they take care of us and that show up to the games. And just to all the seniors out there that got their season canceled by this, just, you know, like Saul said, don't feel discouraged, you know, keep grinding, keep working, you know, have a lot of confidence that everything's going to come out and, you know, be okay, and shoot for the better, you know, something good's going to come out of this eventually. So thanks for having us, Kev.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's been a blast. You know, like I said, you know, today was a little special. You know, we're all Edinburgh North guys here all on at once. And, you know, we're proud of you guys. You know, Carlo, Canul, you guys both playing together at Kingsville, and Saul, you know, what you're doing over there at LSU. You know, we're definitely all proud of that. So that about wraps up our show here. Saul Garza of LSU, Carlo Servin, and Alex Canul of Texas A&M Kingsville. We have one more guest later today at 5. Michigan product and NFL prospect Shea Patterson will be joining us later today at 5. So just one more show on the day, and you guys stay home, stay healthy, stay safe, and hopefully we'll be able to see you guys back on the field again soon.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Kevin.
See you guys.
Likewise.